I was wrestling with thoughts of suicide. I didn't tell my mom this. I didn't tell any of my parents this. I didn't think my dad cared that much. If I just die, I don't have, I can get out of all of the responsibilities of life. I don't have to give any more book reports. I don't have to wake up. I don't have to be in awkward social situations. I can just go, and that'll be it. It's a very immature way of thinking with things because I was an immature 9-year-old kid. I don't know when I really became a believer, to be honest with you. I can't think back to one day. But I know this day very well because every bully at school was picking on me, and then a few more joined in. And the very few friends I had weren't there that day, and the teacher didn't see any of it. So I couldn't get any help from the teachers. I couldn't get any help from my friends. And I was just ganged up on all sides. And I thought, if I just run out in the middle of the street and get hit by a car, that'll be it. I don't have to do this. I don't have to go through this pain of not having friends that cared about me, or not, or there was always the rejection. You try to make friends, and they're like, "Oh, you're that guy or you're that kid who can't talk right. No, I'm gonna stay away from you." And just the rejection hits you in the feels, time and time again. So I said, "Okay, I'm just gonna stop." I was at recess. We were the school I went to. Can I name the school?
You can.
Okay. Mendenhall Elementary School of Plano, Texas. The playground wasn't fully fenced in. So I started walking towards the street. Started going over there, and the teachers didn't stop me. No one stopped me. No one saw me that day. I was just a phantom of a person. And I just prayed. I said, "Jesus, send me a friend." And I'm about 20 yards away from the street, and the wind just picks up out of nowhere. Not like out here in West Texas. I mean, yeah, like out here, just hits, and I feel a hand on my, like a very weighty hand on my left shoulder. I just disregard it as the wind. I keep walking toward the street, and then I feel another hand on my right shoulder, as if someone's walking like this. And it's not like they were pulling me back from the street. It's just saying like, "Hey, I'm here." And loud as day, and really in the echo chamber of my heart, I heard, "Stephen, you're perfect just the way I made you." And for a split second, it's as if time froze. And really, I was just caught up in the Spirit. And I was in God's arms, and for a brief moment, that's all it took. For the hatred, the loathing, the disappointment, the depression, the feelings of I'll never be enough was just gone instantly. And I remember just doing a heel face turn and walking back towards the school. And kids actually interacted with me. And prayer time that night, because my mom would give, say prayers at night. Prayer time that night was a little different. I said, "Hey, Mom, do you ever hear from God?" I had no idea what my mom was just going through. There's another part to this story that happened behind the scenes, but long story short, she actually heard from God, and it was in a very similar way I did. But she was searching for an answer because everybody in her Bible study couldn't really give her a good answer. So, of course, what does the enemy do? He immediately comes to lie, steal, and kill. No. God didn't really talk to you. You're just imagining things. And, you start thinking things. Maybe I'm just imagining things. But then her 9-year-old son says, "Hey, Mom, have you ever heard from God?" She's like, why? And I just proceeded to tell her the events of that day. I left the suicide part out. Her immediate thought at the time, she didn't say this, thank God. Her immediate thought was, my son is insane. He can't make friends, so now he's making them up. He can't talk to people, so now he's hearing voices. My son is clearly crazy. But something within her, which we know as now the Holy Spirit, told her to press onward. And she said, all right, Stephen, how'd you know it was God? I was like, Mom, I knew it was God. She's like, okay. But how did you know it was God? Mom, I just knew. And she goes, Stephen, this is important. I need to know. How did you know? I said, Mom, you're not listening. I heard him in here. And that is where she heard God. Prayer time was cut short that night. And she fell on her knees later on and said, God, you're clearly real. And began to pray over me. And that's when I knew. I mean, I just knew it before that, but I knew it was God. And looking back as an adult, how many times do you make up your mind? I mean, does a kid make up their mind to do something? All right, I'm going to do it in the stubbornness. I'm going to follow through. And then all of a sudden, a voice comes out of nowhere. Doesn't say stop. Doesn't say don't do it. Says, you're perfect just the way I made you. That stutter, whether intentional or not, I'm perfect. There's no flaw in that plan. And here I am.